The future of this world. Many of us don't stop and think about what life will be like 100 to 200 years from now. If we look back in history and we look back at how fast technology changes how people live, only 100 years ago, 110, 120 years ago, were people completely reliant on horseback and animals. Cars, planes, they didn't exist. And even before then, in the Middle Ages, people in the 18th and 19th century, they looked back on the people in the Middle Ages and thought to themselves, damn, we are so much more technologically advanced than them. So the question I'm asking today, or exploring, is what the future is going to look like 100 years from now, 200 years from now, and even extrapolate a little bit into 1,000 years and into the millenniums. And this will be just based off my personal preference or personal ideas. And it's kind of like a hypothesis, we could say, because I don't really have any proof, but I think it's not hard to see where things are going. So from the very beginning, the minute that agriculture started back in the cradle of civilization in Mesopotamia, we domesticated animals, and that would be the beginning of the end for basically human labor. Ever since human animals, one could foresee robotics. Because as soon as animals came in to help us with the farm, that would mean that humans would continuously, I guess maybe it was before that with like bows and arrows and weapons. I hadn't really considered that, but as soon as we like made things easier with labor, that would be the beginning of the end for us doing things work-wise with our bodies. We will eventually move forward toward developing technologies and first through animals, right? Right. It was first through oxen, horses, whatever. Now we're into robots, right? AI, right? Things that can help us with tasks, but also soon will be legitimate physical robots as well, which is quite obvious and is already happening in China, right? And the Jetsons flying car world is soon to come to pass as well. So not to get off track, but so what will life look like in 100, 200 years from now? Well, humans are essentially going to become cyborgs. I think that's that's already happening. So the fact that we constantly have a phone, right? We basically already are cyborgs, right? We already have an extension of ourselves that is mechanical, right? Only 10, 15 years ago, even laptops weren't even really a thing, right? So now all of a sudden it started slowly, right? It started with the screen, it started with radio, right? Where people would tune into to sort of old television programs, black and white to color. Now we have these phones in front of us which can basically do everything, right? And soon we can extrapolate this, right? And this is what I was trying to refer to when I was talking about looking back in humanity's history, right? Because we have to look forward, right? We live in the now, but the things progress, right? And it's interesting sometimes to look into the future and see where things are going. So humans basically will be like cyborgs with mechanical or robotic cybernetic parts to them. First, they will look human with cybernetic parts, sort of like the game Cyberpunk, which I think is an awesome game, despite the bugs with its initial release. But basically, we are going to be like cyborgs with these parts, and you already get that. We kind of already are. Like maybe we're in a simulation or something robotic already, right? With like flu or whatever. I don't know, but Anyway, so yeah, human cyborg. We put it, glow in the dark eyes. You lose your hand. No worries, you got a robot hand. It'll be like this half hybrid of human and robot until eventually it will just become robot completely, right? I think it'll be less of maybe a robot war. Like I like that Terminator aspect. That might be the case, but some Judgment Day Revelation Bible thing, maybe. But what's more likely is probably humans just slowly becoming like a cyborg race, and then after that becoming a robot race. And then there are things that I think about the future, which I don't even really want to say in this video, um, because I'm not sure it's a good idea. This is a censorship age to some extent, well, to a lot of extents. Sometimes it's better to not, as the Bible says, not say everything you know. This is just a pretty basic video. There's nothing out of the nothing too crazy here, right? We can see where this is going. It's just interesting to contemplate that. Damn, humans are going to be cyborgs. It's kind of already begun, and I actually think the world will become a lot cooler. Like it will really look like it'll basically be like the Jetsons, right? Like technology for the most part makes things better. As much as we love to complain about social media and the toxicness of how we have to be on our phones the whole time and how cameras or whatever, which is so true. And yes, it will definitely be used um, basically to, it's like money. It will be used. It does not necessarily bad in and of itself. It will be used to probably a nefarious means by bad powers, right? If they get a hold, but also by good powers, it's great. It's great for communicating. People have never been able to communicate as much as they can, right? That started again, right, with Martin Luther, or I guess not Martin Luther, but like the printing press, um, and being able to disseminate information quickly, right? So without technology, we're not going to be able to do that. So before we talk badly about technology, we do have to realize it's making our lives better. I mean, if you look at the ability to catch basically serial killers and evil people, right? Before, we didn't know, right? Like now, it's so much more difficult and good, right? Like, it's better. We sort of have cameras sometimes, just to capture things. Technology is good, a Jetsons world where we have flying cars. Like, are you telling me you don't want to be in your flying car, going to work, like windows down, listening to some cool cyber tune with like Futurama world, high neon buildings, Blade Runner, you're some hitman. Like that's cool. Right? And technology saved my life. I had appendicitis. I wouldn't really be alive were it not for technology nor recording this video. Like it's nor would you be able to be listening. Would you be able to listen to it? So technology is a good thing. Us becoming cyborgs is low key a good thing, and whether or not it's a good thing or bad thing, it's going to happen nonetheless. Um, and then yeah, so then we become robots. Of course, after the cyborg stage of us being in the human flesh, evidently it's going to be like, why do we have the human flesh at all? It's weak. Whatever. We don't need it anymore. Again, there's I see references with the Bible, the flesh, weakness of the flesh. I think there's something there, something to this whole thing, Bible and robotics. But yeah, then we'll just go become fully fucking robots. We'll be smart, um, cold because we're robots, obviously. So one point my mom made, which is interesting, was like, "Oh, that's cold. There's going to be no love." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, no, that's it. And maybe that's why we're here to experience. Maybe that's why love is such a powerful emotion because there's something to do with the robots. Maybe they can't feel it and they want to. Maybe robots were made and humans didn't give them love. They want to experience it. Maybe we're in a simulation or something like that, right? And that's trying to right whatever because that's the interesting thing. If you make robots, maybe we're in some sort of robot world to begin with. Maybe I don't know, right? Maybe not, right? But or maybe I don't know. But either way, the point of this video is not for that, right? It's not for that speculation, which I have my own thoughts of, and which could be a video in and of itself. The video is the purpose of where humans are going. We're becoming robots. It's already happened. We already have a robotic extension in our phones, and soon that will be implanted in us. It's already being talked about, Neuralink, whatever. Um, and that's kind of cool. Yeah, I kind of like that vibe. I don't know why. It's just cool to me. Like just like putting things in your brain, like night vision gall. Imagine being a young kid there. That'd be so fun. Being a rambunctious teenager in like a robot world. I woe that I'll be an old man at that time, but it was still good to grow up sort of without technology too, because it's kind of cool. Because they're gonna be like, damn, how'd you guys fucking do anything, right? So, and then after robots, can I say what I think will be? I mean, no, right? Because I don't want to say, but I think I see something after robots too. But then I'm wondering if like that, I'm interested about like time travel or like the fourth dimension, maybe, right? If time travel is possible, they're doing it. They're going back. They're mixing things. Anyway, I'm not gonna get too much into that. I'm wondering how I can wrap up my thoughts here. I think that might sort of be it. Anything else? The world itself will become, obviously more robotic with AI. Like AI is just going to take over completely. Um, at first, it'll be annoying, but I wonder if the robots will get the hang of just making right calls on things. I think they could, unless again nefarious powers get in control. But I just don't see robots not becoming sentient to the point of like, yeah, like, or even us becoming sentient with the robots of like, yeah, like these days of the flesh are over. Like you know, I don't know about people who believe in flat Earth or if you believe in a solar system. Obviously, if we are robots and we're not on a flat Earth, we're going to be able to go to other planets quite easily, more easily than in the flesh, right? If we're on a flat Earth, it's probably still beneficial to have robots. Again, no worries about death with the flesh, right? You're basically just a machine at that point. You can, like the Matrix, devise other machines. You can make them like little flies, right? Drones are already coming, um, which are good, by the way. Again, drones are another thing that's going to take off. Drones are going to basically be the new. It's like the internet in some way, but more military, more security, or I guess over security. For freedom lovers, of which I am. But I also I do like technology. I do like robots. I think it's good. Again, like the reason why we're able to the people are low key waking up to the absurdities of life is because of technology, right? If we were working on the slave with or working on the farm with our bros, we would not be knowing what's going on. It might be a more rustic, cool life, like a Nordic adventurous, but I don't know. Like, well, you wouldn't know shit, right? And like, so technology's given us that opportunity to learn and spread information quickly, and so yeah, yeah, drones, warfare again, changing warfare. You don't really need tanks anymore. Drones, you strap a $10 grenade on a, $50 drone and just fly it in. 20, destroy like a $50 million tank with like a fucking $30 investment. So there you go. Warfare changes. The boomers today, as always, the old officers are always slow to move on, right? They were the same thing in the World War One with they just sent their men in like a bunch of idiots, right? World War Two they got a little bit smarter, but typically the older people don't really know about, oh, okay, crap, the war is change or world's changing, right? Like, when you have a swarm of drones that can go toward an enemy position, like, and again, that just goes to show that warfare will be a part of how robots get developed, right? That's when war happens, like with Ukraine, technology happens. That's where these companies are making good money, and they're being able to develop these technologies, right? They have fun with it. It's like they're like real life Tony Stark, unfortunately, but that's the way it is, right? And some of these like some of the weapons are cool, right? In a sick way, right? So, you know, um, but yeah, a lot of like robot on robot warfare. We can see that. Um, who knows? Maybe the robots fight each other and then say, "Hey, why are we fighting each other? Let's fight the people who are pinning us against each other." But I don't know. Maybe right. But flying cars are actually not even a hard concept. I want to get into drawing more, and I'm thinking about making like it's just not even that hard of a thing to fathom. The way planes, which I think planes need to be designed differently. It's a death machine. Like you're strapping two massive engines on an aluminum tube and just barreling it. Like, do we not? Can you not just make it like kind of like a drone? Just like make like a bunch of propellers and just nice little lift off, and then across like put some great battery in it, lithium something, and just I don't know if the plane has a problem, just have a parachute pop out or something, right? Make it a little bit like it's like, oh, we're gonna strap the. I can see future humans looking at planes and just being like, damn, wow. Or who knows? Like, I don't know, but like they just seem a little bit much to me. Like, is there not a better way we could do that? Like, we had blimps; they were cool. We put hydrogen in it. Why would you not? Why let's just put helium? It's not flammable, right? Well, like blimps are kind of cool, right? Those huge blimps. Imagine being on like a 20s blimp. Have you seen those pictures? Those 20s blimps. Like they might bring those back too. Like that's a thing. Like aircraft. Oh, that's probably a good point I should make. Uh, Aircraft is going to be big. Okay, so planes, drones, like it's blimps, like because we haven't conquered the sky, right? Look what we did with the waves, right? Look at ships, how barbaric the first ones were, little like rafts with nothing, right? And then to the sails, like the rowers of the Carthage, to um, the Viking ships to that sailed to the Atlantic to North America, the British ships, the British ain't nothing a little old British cannon can't fix. Those ships which conquered the world, right? Because Napoleon could conquer the land, but England could conquer the seas, which was better. So those ships, and then to the warships, look at the battleships or whatever. Like look at those ships. Jesus, right? And now look at what happened with planes. Planes are 100 years old. Like ships are thousands of years. Like imagine the aircraft we're going to build, right? That's where it's going to be in the future. And anyone who says, "Oh, well, it's dangerous," don't know humans because humans don't care about that, and they shouldn't, right? Because we need to expand technologically. It's in our nature to, and it's better, right? It's the Roman way of civilization, spreading it to here and then the galaxies if we can, right? Our civilized way of life and our technology, which is good. So yeah, so aircraft, yeah, there'll be more new aircrafts, I believe. There'll be like cities on up. Buildings will be taller. Again, there's only so much land, right? So buildings are going to be taller. I can see kind of like similar to China with like walkways on high buildings, right? And crime will be the same. You'll have like gangster robot people, gangster robotic, whatever. Like I don't know. That concept's cool to me. I just like the game Cyberpunk anyway. Um, and then yeah, diseases will probably be cured for the most part. Life will be different, right? Life will be different. It will no longer be a life of like. It will still have the concept of money, but it'll be more like a digital money, right? So similar to Bitcoin, right? Or probably just like Bitcoin or something like that. Things can be paid on your hand, on your eye, right? Biometrics, That's how going to be security, right? And of course, people worry that, well, what happens if, you say the no, or you do the bad thing, or you commit the thought crime and they don't let you do certain things. And that is a legitimate concern to have. But if they didn't do that, it would not be too bad. To be frank, right? Um, but yeah, that's kind of it. I don't believe I have anything else. I'm gonna think for a couple of seconds here if I just have anything else to say. And if not, that will be the end of my first video, which is basically where humans are headed into the future, which is basically like a Jetsons world, but we're also going to be like freaking cyborgs. There'll be like robots helping us with a lot of stuff humans don't want to do. And humans will still have jobs. Oh, probably should mention this. The jobs that humans have, a lot of the jobs humans have in 100 and 200 years from now, like they don't exist now. Like we could conceptualize them. Like for example, someone who fixes robots. That doesn't yet exist really, right? A robot mechanic. But there you go. They're like a mechanic, and it'll be similar to like a mechanic in real life today, right? But kind of cooler, right? And I think robots are kind of cool, right? Like that they'll help you, right? They're not designed to not help you. Again, humans are brutal and will abuse them. Okay, but that's what humans do. That's not a robot thing. Um, that's a human thing. Humans abuse other humans. Humans are gonna abuse robots. Now, some humans are compassionate. They'll be compassionate towards robots too. So it's not all black and white. Um, and then yeah, Jetsons World, cyborgs, flying cars, drones, um, robot dogs, robot police things, and until finally, once you keep stretching it, the days of the flesh will be over. Um, sin, no more sin, since we'll be of the flesh no more and turn into complete robots. And that's the end of the video.